Attentive readers, this may defy all logic, but it is based in something that we've talked about even from the good book. Hi, I'm James Lynch, and the subject that we're going to talk about is a very important one. It is so important that it goes along with some of the conversations I've had with you over the years on different backgrounds and experiences will give you insight at times as to why we treat people the way that we do. And I'm talking about in a positive way, an uplifting way that will even defy all logic at times. You've also heard me talk about saving face. See, in the world that, as far as where you live in, that talks about karma or karmic debt quite a bit, the fact of the matter is, when I'm going to talk to you briefly, some of these pointers that I'm going to even share with you, they have been enumerated even on one tech site, not tech site, but it's called teachingnomad.com. Is some points I want to share with you from that, because it goes to show that what some of us may have already learned or been taught or observed over the years as being just a good, respectable way of treating persons, that even though others may not feel the same way, you will see how one culture actually lives and thrives in a variety of ways because of it. Okay. Now, we talk about culture still with the James PoeArtistry Productions website, which you know has continued to evolve from the Product of Culture website, which means more than just books. All right. So let's talk about saving face. What does it mean? Well, I'm going to share with you something that the teachingnomad.com stated about the Chinese culture. It stated in Chinese culture that the concept of face, aka minimizing, refers to the amount of dignity or prestige that's associated with an individual. Saving face means to keep others from losing respect for oneself or to avoid embarrassment. Now, I end quote there. See, one thing that persons have learned from Asian cultures, and even especially China, which it seems to be, stemmed from there, that location of the world, those people actually, again, appreciate saving face. If anyone has ever even studied samurais and that land over there, even during what we may call feudal times, you see, of the different warlords and how the samurais had control of different lands and things of that nature. Remember, it was very, very important that they learned even a certain code. You see, part of their code was not even to just, draw their sword in a very frivolous way, you see, in a vanity way or anything of that nature. You see, the soul of the sword. In other words, you didn't unsheath it unless you really were planning on using it in many of the views. You see, many of the codes. And so you could see how that could help persons to see that they took that soul of theirs, in a sense, seriously, you see. And it was not to be used in just a playful way. Of course, there was training, but you know what I mean in general. And so the whole point is saving face is something that is integral or in their DNA, as I like to explain for some people. And other persons in other cultures, you see, and that's what I want to emphasize, it has really been shown through different cultures, even throughout the world. But I wanted to share that definement of it from at least this website. How do you feel about helping someone or giving someone the respect and the gift of saving face? Remember, I said in the beginning, it can go against all logic and reasoning for some. However, it really does give a person an opportunity to, again, no matter what has been said, no matter what has been done, to still retain their respect and their dignity. Granted, at times, that's why I mentioned the samurai, there were certain actions that still went along with it at times, depending on the amount of disgrace that would have been accompanied if they didn't perform certain actions. But see, also brings me to Jesus' ransom sacrifice. Do you remember that podcast where I talked about karma and how Jesus' ransom sacrifice even covers that karmic debt? What are the actions that would be required to accept that saving of face, if you will, that payment of the karmic debt? Well, from the scriptures, it means accepting Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, as people say it. You see? And so with that being said, then that ransom sacrifice would also, when it works its way all the way through, spiritually, and then of course going into physically and things of that nature, what ends up happening? Well, everyone who accepts it will eventually, again, in a sense, be saved of face. Be restored, keep their respect and dignity, But that's just a thought. So I want to mention something to you, which, no one may always do these things perfectly, but I thought you would find it very interesting, perceptive readers, from the teachingnomad.com, how to gain ground or gain face. Notice this. It states, I'm quoting, compliment and praise others at any opportunity, especially hosts and chefs. Invite others to expensive dinners, banquets, or social events. Receive great evaluation scores based on customer feedback. Prevent someone else from losing face. Avoid attention-seeking actions. Express interest in the local culture and history. Accept business cards, money, etc. with both hands and treat them as objects of high value. So I end the quotes from there. And then there's also some enumerated bullet points, if you will, showing under a heading called How to Avoid Losing Face. That's how to avoid losing face. I'm going to allow you to go to teachingnomad.com and read those for yourself. So I wanted to share this with you, perceptive readers, today. Look at the time period that we're living in, and you will notice that, hey, along with the good times, there's a lot of frustration in the world. Where I tell you what, from keeping positive affirmations to appreciating, and yes, I have to say it, those elevated, uplifting teachings, even of Jesus. And yes, even cultural meanings and definements of what has kept good relations, such as saving face in other cultures. And maybe it's in yours. Maybe it's been in your family as well. All of those help people to get along in peace. Sincerely get along in peace. authentically get along in peace. Have a very wonderful day, Perceptive Readers. Take care of yourself. You have just listened to the Perceptive Readers podcast. Remember, until next time, if you read something that encourages you to improve or enhance your life for the better, it becomes your reality.